And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club. I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are.
Business. Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth.
I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean.
Ice Cube finally breaks his silence against Oprah's dark secrets in exchange for fame and claims he has the proof to back it up.
You're not supposed to do this in my business. I'm up here doing something that nobody else in this business has the balls to do. I'm telling you something that you need to know.
Could the queen of media have made sacrifices for her fame? According to Ice Cube, there's more to Oprah's rise to the top than meets the eye.
I've been on there before.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when I've became an independent thinker.
So it wasn't just hard work. Rumors of secret dealings and dark sacrifices have plagued the media mogul for years. But now Ice Cube is alleging that he's got the proof. Let's get into it. There's a lot of talk going around that Hollywood is like this shady organization with people like Oprah being part of it, doing whatever it takes to keep the money flowing. The rumor is that they found a really messed up way to cash in, and it involves exploiting a lot of young talent, especially female artists. Ice Cube, though, he's not afraid to call them out and speak his mind.
I think you feel better about yourself when you say what needs to be said at the time it needs to be said, and not afterwards where you go home and think.
Ice Cube allegedly argues that a lot of female artists have gone through some serious struggles because of Oprah, but they barely get any recognition for it. He claims their lives have been turned into a rough, chaotic ride with no credit for the hardships they've endured.
They owe a lot of people a lot of favors. The more money you give them, the more you're listened to.
Ice Cube has pointed out that Hollywood has a long history of exploiting people, and he's not the only one who feels this way. There's a belief that Hollywood works hand in hand with powerful industries, profiting off the free labor of millions of inmates. What's even more alarming is how this exploitation could affect everyone: innocent kids, teenagers, and especially female artists, who aren't safe from the shady practices in the entertainment world.
Talk radio host Steve Corbett.
Gangster judges were into a prison camp. Where were the protectors of the kids at that time?
Rumor has it that Oprah's been making headlines for some pretty shady stuff too, especially when it comes to sacrificing for fame. She had her fair share of drama. People have accused her of running smear campaigns against critics, messing with careers, and even some pretty disturbing allegations.
Oprah legitimized the notorious Jao Tashira, aka John of God, as a miraculous faith healer.
Back in 2007, Oprah Winfrey opened a boarding school in South Africa, inspired by Nelson Mandela, and called it the Leadership Academy for Girls. Even though the South African government was against it because of the high costs in a struggling area, the school launched with some pretty fancy facilities, like salons and a gem room, which definitely raised some eyebrows. Over the years, there have been some scandals at the school, but the conspiracy theories about HT don't have any solid proof.
Oprah, look up and look up, man.
Oprah actually handpicked the 152 students who attended her school, but it wasn't long until some of these students were being harmed by one of the employees of the school. Her name is Virginia, and she was 27 years old at the time, and she was charged with behaving inappropriately with at least 6 students aged 13 to 15. These students were handpicked by Oprah to go and live at this academy, and one of these employees who is managing the dorm is physically touching them and doing things that shouldn't be told loudly and even harming them. The Times, a Johannesburg newspaper, wrote in an editorial, "The A scandal that has rocked Oprah Winfrey's South African school for girls does not reflect badly on the famous talk show host. It reflects badly on this nation, and it should not be surprising that it manifested itself in Oprah's school. Oprah should not be condemned for allegations made against this matron. She should be praised for her decision to aggressively deal with it." This incident was a huge black mark for South Africa, especially since the country has faced issues with children being harmed by school employees in the past. past. It's really concerning that Oprah put these students in danger by hiring someone like Virginia. Once the news broke, Oprah didn't waste any time. She flew to South Africa with a team of investigators to get to the bottom of what went down at the academy.
6 students of the 152 accepted students by Oprah to attend the institution, laying accusations on the dorm matron Virginia Tinley Basketball.
Well, it's a good thing Oprah went to that school in South Africa to investigate, especially since her name is all over this mess. But unfortunately, that employee Virginia ended up being cleared of all charges. Typical justice system, right? And get this, Virginia even tried to sue Oprah for defamation despite being found innocent. But that's just one scandal in a long line since the school opened. Less than 2 years later, there was another incident where some students got into physical fights. A 15-year-old was actually urging the victims to stay quiet and not tell their parents or the investigators. In the end, 7 students were suspended for allegedly intimidating others and acting inappropriately. One letter sent to the parents of a suspended girl reportedly said she was found guilty of physical contact of a sexual nature with another pupil on campus, harassment, bullying other girls on campus, and being dishonest by not telling investigators the whole truth. People were really puzzled about even if Oprah visited the school less than a year ago to sort things out, yet issues like this keep popping up. How does a 15-year-old even get away with pressuring classmates into keeping quiet and lying to officials about it? But wait, it gets even more disturbing. Less than 2 years after that second scandal, cops found a dead newborn at Oprah's school in South Africa. One of her handpicked students, who hasn't been named, gave birth there, and instead of getting help, reportedly stuffed the baby in her backpack. She later ended up in the hospital for bleeding, likely from giving birth at the school. It's such a sad and messed up situation. While Oprah can't control every aspect of her students' lives, she definitely has a say in who she associates with. And if you think of this, it has been reported that young people were T in Diddy's alleged freak-off, due to which he has also been arrested. So maybe Oprah was the supplier, because people getting disappeared from school and present in Diddy's freak-offs may give some clue. But that's just like the tip of the iceberg of her alleged crimes. A lot of folks are saying she's been known to exploit and blackball those trying to make it in the industry. And it seems like Cindy Crawford could be one of the first potential victims caught up in this mess. Her initial encounter with Oprah was a far cry from the more polished vibe of her 2013 appearance on Oprah's Masterclass. But looking back, Crawford's warm feelings toward Winfrey aren't as straightforward as they seem. Even after making 10 appearances on Oprah, she's realized that her first introduction to the show was anything but cozy, especially in today's context. It's like she's been doing some serious soul-searching about how Winfrey's actions might come across now. There's a sense that there might still be some lingering issues between Crawford and Winfrey.
Like, show us why you're worthy of being here. In the moment, I didn't recognize it. Only when I look back at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay, really.
In the pilot episode of The Supermodels, Cindy Crawford opened up about her first experience on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and it was pretty eye-opening. At just 20 years old, she and her manager, John Casablancas, walked into a situation that felt way more exploitative than supportive. Winfrey, who was still new to the whole talk show game in 1986, barely paid attention to Crawford herself. Instead, she threw all her questions at Casablancas, asking things like, so did you have to G her? Did she always have this body? Like, seriously? Then came the cringy moment when Oprah told Cindy to stand up and show off her body for everyone to see.
I was like the chattel, or a child, like be seen and not heard. When you look at it through today's eyes, when Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body.
Crawford reflected on how that moment made her feel like the chattel or a child, basically telling her to be seen and not heard. It's wild to think that Oprah, a supposed champion of women, would put Cindy in such a humiliating position. I was so traumatized. I really felt I was not seen as a person who had a voice in her own destiny, she confessed, and it's hard not to feel for her. With time, she realized just how inappropriate and degrading that whole situation was. And then, after Crawford publicly called it out, Oprah mysteriously pulled the interview from YouTube. It's like she's trying to sweep this under the rug. But Cindy calling out Oprah over that interview proved that she was exploited by her. And it's wild how people are reacting. One person wrote, 100% agree with this woman. It's about time Oprah gets what she deserves. And all these people that have come out against Oprah are telling the truth. truth. When people Oprah shows you who she is, everyone needs to listen. Even Oprah's bestie, Gayle King, jumped in, saying she was surprised and a little disappointed. She commented on the situation saying, "I'm surprised and a little disappointed because I know Cindy's been on her show many, many, many times, and it has always been a pleasant experience. So I would hate to think that something that happened years ago could have bothered her. It's not Oprah's thing to humiliate or make anybody feel badly." Cindy isn't the only one who has felt overshadowed by Oprah. You'd think that after decades of being in the industry, Oprah would know how to create a supportive atmosphere for her fellow artists. But instead, it seems she's inadvertently stepping on toes. Now it looks like Taraji P. Henson also faced the same fate during the press tour for the Color Purple musical film. Rumors of a feud between Oprah and Taraji have been swirling, especially after a viral video got fans dissecting their body language for any hint of tension. On the surface, Taraji and Oprah have a relationship filled with mutual respect and admiration, but things seem a bit more complicated than that. Sure, Taraji is a highly accomplished actress known for her incredible roles, like Cookie Lyon in Empire, and she's made waves in Hollywood with her advocacy for pay equity and opportunities for Black women. But let's be real, she's not on Oprah's level of influence. While Oprah is a media mogul with a powerful platform, Taraji might be feeling some of that pressure in their dynamic, especially with all the recent rumors swirling around. It's almost like you can sense that Taraji is treading lightly, trying to maintain that positive front while navigating a potentially stressful situation. Oprah's been a guiding force for Taraji, but with the stakes so high in Hollywood, it feels like there's more going on beneath the surface. Oprah has been heavily involved as an executive producer for the Color Purple musical film. And while she often praises Taraji's talent, there's a nagging feeling that Taraji is playing nice to avoid stepping on any toes. She's publicly defended Oprah against speculation of discord, but you can't help but wonder, if the pressure gets too intense, could she spill the tea on what really goes down behind the scenes? It's a tricky situation. Taraji deserves to shine in her own right, but Oprah's immense power can overshadow that. It's frustrating for fans to think that Taraji might be feeling like she has to hold back or sugarcoat her experience. One person on the internet wrote, "It's about time we are seeing Oprah for who she is. Haven't liked her for years." The world sees these two strong women working together, but it feels like there's a tension simmering just beneath the surface. If Taraji ever decides to break her silence, it could turn into a major revelation about the pressures of working with someone as influential as Oprah. Talking about blackballed actresses by Oprah, Toni Braxton is yet another victim. In a candid interview on VH1's Behind the Music, Toni opened up about her struggles with bankruptcy and how it impacted her career. During her appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Toni was ready for questions about her financial situation, but Oprah's unexpectedly tough line of questioning caught her completely off guard, leaving her in disbelief and adding to the difficulties she was already experiencing during that time.
I read that you were upset about stories that your overspending caused this.
Toni, reflecting on what she saw as Oprah's rudeness, didn't hold back her shock, saying, "She was so frickin' mean to me. I was in shock." Before the interview, Toni had openly expressed her deep respect and admiration for Oprah, so she never expected her to be as critical as she ended up being. "I couldn't believe it because I loved her so much. I admired her and looked up to her, and she pretty much reprimanded me," Toni recalled. According to Toni, Oprah's disapproval went even further. She remembered Oprah making comments like, "I've heard you have Gucci flatware, whereas I, Oprah Winfrey, do not own Gucci flatware," all while gesturing with her thumb and forefinger close together. This remark left the Braxton family value star feeling pretty small and diminished.
You ain't got Gucci flatware because you didn't want to buy it. It's not because you couldn't afford it. What do you mean? And immediately, she made me feel this big.
As fans began to piece together these incidents, suspicions intensified that Oprah might have played a big role in Toni Braxton's decline. This perception was further fueled by the well-known conflict between Oprah and Monique. Many believed Oprah had a hand in derailing Monique's career, with rumors swirling that she was close to homelessness at one point. The lack of any public apology from Oprah regarding the perceived harm done to Monique only added fuel to the fire, deepening the suspicions surrounding Oprah's influence in these situations.
So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me.
In an explosive set at the Apollo Theater, Monique ripped into the media mogul, revealing years of betrayal, manipulation, and a deliberate effort to apparently crush her Hollywood career. After her Oscar-winning performance in Precious, Monique should have been on top of the world, but instead, she found herself blacklisted. And according to Monique, Oprah is one of the key reasons why.
Oprah Winfrey's black ass, and we just need to bring her back to black.
It all started in 2009 when Monique refused to participate in an unpaid press tour for Precious, a film co-produced by Oprah. Exhausted from the shoot and wanting to spend time with her family, Monique made the tough decision to take a break rather than promote the film for free. She explained this to Oprah directly, thinking there was mutual understanding. "I said, Oprah, I've done my part. I'm tired, I've got my own projects, and I'm spending time with my family." We agreed to disagree. But what happened next blindsided her. Suddenly, Monique found herself branded as difficult and hard to work with. And in Hollywood, those labels are like career poison. It wasn't just gossip. It was the start of what Monique believes was a deliberate smear campaign against her. And at the center of it all, Oprah.
What is that black dick connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed.
In her emotional set at the Apollo, Monique didn't mince words. "I wasn't blackballed. I was whiteballed by a black woman who should have had my back," she declared, her voice filled with pain and anger. "Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey, for making sure I was shut out. You had the power to stand up for me, but instead, you turned your back." Monique's relationship with Oprah soured even further when the talk show queen allowed Monique's estranged brother, who had MA'd her as a child, to appear on her show without Monique's consent. The episode, which was supposed to be about raising awareness for victims of A, instead felt like a deep betrayal. Monique was blindsided, especially since Oprah never reached out to warn her. That moment, according to Monique, was the final betrayal. It wasn't just about being cut out of Hollywood. It was about Oprah violating her trust in one of the most painful ways imaginable.
I did assault and inappropriately touch my sister in manners that were not comfortable for her. And for that, I apologize.
Even now, despite all that's happened, Oprah has never apologized. Monique made it clear that she's still waiting for the media mogul to own up to her role in the downfall of her career.
That me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt.
For Monique, this fight is far from over. She's determined to expose Oprah's role in what she sees as a coordinated effort to block her from the industry. Seems like blackballing artists is just a child's play for her because she has also faced significant allegations related to alleged hypocrisy and enabling behavior, with accusations coming from prominent figures like Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted S-offender, and Harvey Weinstein. Several well-known individuals have publicly accused Oprah of concealing information or supporting Harvey Weinstein, including Rose McGowan. According to Rose, Oprah made a mistake in associating with individuals like Russell Simmons and Harvey Weinstein, whom she considered friends. Rose tweeted, "I am glad more are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't. From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' sick victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. #Lizard. Fans are also buzzing about how she might have messed up the careers of some black actresses just because she's basically Diddy's right hand or maybe even his boss. Her name has been popping up in a lot of sketchy headlines lately, and now folks are trying to link her to Diddy's recent lawsuit. That suit claims Diddy's parties were sometimes full of underage people, and there's some wild speculation that Oprah might have been involved in getting him those people.
So what happened? Did you find yourself spiraling downward?
Well, first of all, yeah, but I don't want to make it as a thing where I'm absolving myself of any responsibility.
But you know what is worse? When keen observers found out her link with Tyler Perry, who himself is connected to controversies. Tyler Perry has unquestionably left a lasting mark, ascending to prominence within the Atlanta theater scene and garnering box office success with his Medea series. Nevertheless, Perry's journey has been marred by controversy. There have been speculations that his ego grew to the extent of causing conflicts, even with influential figures like Oprah. In the competitive realm of Hollywood, progress often comes with hurdles and occasionally involves questionable tactics, and it appears that Tyler Perry might not be immune to this pattern.
You know, and when I'm hearing all this noise, man, it was crazy because there were no black people on television. Before diversity became a thing, Tyler Perry was the only one out there for a long time.
Acclaimed film director Spike Lee is among the notable figures who have criticized Tyler Perry for his use of stereotypical characters in his work. Lee is well known for openly addressing and expressing concerns about this issue with Perry's portrayals in his films and productions.
But I still think a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
Lee continued to express his viewpoint, suggesting that, in his eyes, the inclusion of stereotypical characters in movies, including those by Tyler Perry, was contributing to breaking records. Lee emphasized his belief that the industry could aim for improvement by avoiding biased and nonsensical films that feature designated, one-dimensional characters.
Breaking records, but we could do better.
At the same time, Tyler Perry's casting choices and character portrayals have become subjects of discussion among viewers, prompting conversations about his business strategy. And again, Oprah is being connected to it because both are like best buddies in the industry. And don't forget, Oprah also talked in favor of Harvey Weinstein. But have you thought about why Ice Cube is all vocal about it? He candidly revealed that he also allegedly faced obstacles in the past due to his views. He apparently asserted that both The View and Oprah's shows declined to have him as a guest during the promotional period of his successful film Barbershop, and while producing the show Black, White. Interestingly, he noted that the entire cast of each of those shows was invited to Oprah's show on 2 separate occasions, but he personally was not extended an invitation. This experience led him to believe that his views might have played a role in being excluded from certain forums and opportunities in the entertainment industry. Apparently, Ice Cube might believe that he is not welcome on Oprah Winfrey's platform anymore. According to the West Coast icon, he was not even seen in any of her new interviews, as he said, "I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View. A few of the hosts just really didn't like where I was coming from. That's what I was told by the producers. I don't know if it was the producers who were just copping out and using some of the hosts to have me not explain myself. I've been there before. It's just when I've become an independent thinker. I don't follow their brand of politics, I guess." For many years, Ice Cube has been vocal about his issues with the legendary talk show host. Back in 2006, he openly spoke about the matter to FHM magazine, addressing the situation with the cast of Barbershop by saying, "For Barbershop, she had Cedric the Entertainer and Yvonne, but I wasn't invited. She's had damn R, CM, and lying authors on her show. And if I'm not a rags to riches story for her, who is?" Maybe he was also blackballed by her because he was vocal about the industry's wrongdoings all along, or maybe she was afraid she could also get exposed and face consequences as Diddy did. Who knows? But people do have their own opinions on it, as one person wrote. Oprah has zero credibility. She can't ruin anyone's career but her own. She deserves all the shade, another one added. Oprah is not what people thought she was. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.